So yeah, March is almost over already. So here is already my April TBR video. Now I didn't get to a lot of my books for March because maybe I was a little ambitious, so I put those on my April TBR. Now April is going to be a really interesting reading month for me, not necessarily because I have a huge TBR, but because of the type of books on it. Now this feels like one of those months where I'm trying a bit of everything. I'm continuing some sci-fi I've been meaning to get to for a long time. Finally picking up a classic that's been on my radar forever, and mixing in a short story collection to keep things balanced. And honestly, I think this is the kind of TBR that works really well for me. Variety, but still manageable. So let's get into it. First, I want to talk about the books I didn't get to in March. Because I always like to carry those over instead of pretending they never existed. Now the first one is Even of Ethos by Louis McMaster Bujold. And this book is part of the Verkoosken saga, which is one of those sci-fi series that I am now constantly recommending. Especially if you're looking for something more character driven rather than just big ideas and spectacle. And from what I understand, this one is a bit of a side story in the larger series, with its own characters and story. It's more self-contained and it focuses heavily on the main character rather than the wider universe. And I think that's exactly what I'm in the mood for right now. Because as much as I like big sprawling sci-fi, sometimes what really sticks with me are the characters. And the second carryover is Consider Phoebus by Ian M. Banks. And this one has been on my radar for a long time. This is the first book in the Culture series, which is known for being this massive idea-driven space opera universe. And I feel like this is one of those series that a lot of sci-fi fans eventually get to. But I've also heard a lot of mixed things about this specific book. Some people love it. Some people say it's not the best entry point, and others say the series really finds its footing later on. So I'm going into this with a bit of a balanced mindset. I'm excited, but I'm also not expecting it to blow me away immediately. I'm more curious about the world, the ideas, and whether it makes me want to continue with the series. And that's kind of the theme for the start of this month. Finally getting to books that have been sitting in the background for a while now. Not necessarily the most hyped or urgent reads, but the ones that I know I want to try. And next up is probably the centerpiece of the month. And it's also a group read I'm planning to do with some other booktubers. We're going to read The Three Musketeers by Alexandre Dumas. And this group read is hosted by Derek Green, and he is a huge fan of this book. And I've been meaning to get into historical fantasy for a while now. And when he announced this reading project, I saw it as the perfect opportunity to jump in. And this is one of those classics that almost feels inevitable. Like at some point you're just going to read it. And I already know the basic idea. Friendship, adventure, sword fights, all for one and one for all. But beyond that, I'm actually going in pretty blind. And I kind of like that. What I'm most curious about is how it reads today. Because with classics, it can really go either way. Sometimes they feel surprisingly modern and engaging, and other times they can feel a bit slow or distant. But I think doing this as a group read is going to make a huge difference. There's just something about reading a book alongside other people, being able to talk about it, compare thoughts, and kind of experience it together. And that makes the whole thing more engaging, especially for a longer classic like this. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. And then finally, to balance everything out, I also want to read The 4 Ages of Death by Guy Rideau. This is his second short story collection, and after reading the first one, The Glass Weaver's Tale, I already know this is something that works really well for me. And the short stories have kind of become my go-to when I don't feel like diving into something massive. They're just easier to pick up, easier to fit into a busy schedule, and they're just perfect in between longer reads. And so especially this month, where I have a classic and some heavier sci-fi on the list, I think having a short story collection on the side is going to help me keep my reading momentum going. It's just a nice way to break things up. So overall, April feels like a really balanced reading month. I've got character-focused sci-fi, a big idea space opera, a classic adventure, and a short story collection. And I think that mix is exactly what I need right now. Not too overwhelming, but still enough variety to keep things interesting. So that's my April TBR. Let me know what you're planning to read this month, and if you've read any of these books, I'd love to hear your thoughts. And as always, thanks for watching, and I hope to see you again in the next video.